Okay, okay. You think the tsunami, right? Tsunami. You think it's a natural disaster, right? It's a natural disaster. What if I tell you that tsunamis are not a natural disaster? You know, tsunamis are actually man-made disaster, artificial disaster, right? Because someone can literally, you know, how does tsunami happens? Like it happens when water literally, like, you know, pushes in, water goes overboard. Water goes overboard than you're supposed to. And whenever water goes overboard, it doesn't happen naturally. Like, there's a force, acting on the water going overboard. When the water goes overboard and take over a certain, location that it's not supposed to take, when the water goes overboard, there has been a force, you know, that acted on it, that pushed it, to go forward. And there are a lot of technologies out here that you can use to do that. You can go online and browse it. There are a lot of technologies that can actually be used to force the hand of the river. You can actually push water to a certain location. For instance, Spain. Spain is surrounded with water. If if you want to destroy Spain right now, you don't even need bombs, and you don't need bombs. You don't need none of that shit. You don't need to drop the meteor rocks. Because Spain is surrounded with water. You just use the water. You know, use the water to just push the water. You know, put a little bit of force, because once you push a little bit of force, the water will do the rest. You know, just flood Spain, because Spain is what surrounded with water. Most of Spain is surrounded with water. I mean, it happens. We hear a lot of disasters that happen, a lot of flooding. We know all this stuff are not natural. So it's crazy. If you want to do, imagine. You know, so all these tsunamis is not natural. Even tornado is not a natural disaster. It's not. You know, you don't. What is natural is like the little sand stuff. When sand cloud, yeah. But it's not really that, that big, that much of a force. It's just a natural little disaster. But men created tornado. Men use that, that little disaster. Men created tornado. You can create. Don't you know you can create tornado right now? You just need, when you got a swirling, objects. When you get objects that are swirling, you can use that to generate sand. If they are swirling, there are a lot of technologies that people can use, that they're using to create tornado. A twirling technology. Some generators. They can even use generators to even create tornadoes. I've forgotten the names of those generators, but some generators that can actually, like, generate air and wind and stuff. You know, so they're actually creating this stuff. So you look at tornado, you think it's God sent. No, it's man sent. They were sent to your location. you know, earthquakes. You know, earthquakes can dig put things into the you can they have technologies in which they dug into the ground, and these technologies, they will send shock waves. You know, waves that and these technologies, they will direct where the shock wave will go. They can direct to the location, the particular location that it will go, and to attack that location. There will be huge shock waves in that location, and therefore an earthquake, destroying almost everything in that location. you know all these things are not natural disasters. All these things are man-made disasters. you know Maybe man wants to acquire a land, and the people are being stubborn. Just do an earthquake, destroy the place, and the people are gonna move. All these things are not natural. Even meteor rocks. You think the meteor rocks are natural? No, these are rocks that they've worked on in the lab. They've mixed with uranium and a lot of stuff, enriched uranium and hard rocks. that have been mixed together that will go boom on impact. This is what they call media rocks. Those media rocks are not stones that are not those stones that are gonna eat the air. These are man-made rocks that man put up there that if any country wanna fuck up, they will just release these media rocks to just fall on your heads. And it's all legal, right? These are natural disasters. In the world's eye, it's natural. But if a media rock fall on a certain continent or country, it's all legal. It's legal. Oh, it's nature. It has nothing to do with no one. It's nature. Oh. It's not nature. It was dropped intentionally on your head. you know, all these things are not natural disasters. These are man-made disasters that men made uh natural, just in case they want to get something off the ground, or just in case they want to do something without being pointed at. You know, these are man-made disasters. This is not something to be joked with. You're surrounded with earth in the air. They're gonna drop rocks on your head. Earthquakes, tornadoes, they can destroy, stuff. So you need to be ready for countermeasures. If you're a war person, you need to be ready for countermeasures, something that will counter the tornadoes, the tsunamis, all these disasters. If they decide to use it against your country or continent, these are counter attacks measures. you know Something that can detect a meteor rock falling down. I can detect tornadoes, tsunamis, earthquakes. You know, that can detect sound, but the earthquake will be so hard, to stop. Because it will be so hard to stop. So all these are not natural disasters. These are man-made disasters. Man-made things just don't happen. The ground just don't shake, or else there is a force shaking it. It don't. It doesn't. you know some fucking hard, windy, wind can just go swelling, going that hard. You see the way tornado goes hard, wind can't just form like that if there isn't a hand that is causing it to. If there isn't a human in the background just that is generating this stuff, tsunami ain't gonna happen. Water ain't gonna go up, go go over the land if there wasn't a force acting on it to push it forward. Like, yeah, go destroy that area, flood the whole place for me and kill them all. Spain. I'm just kidding. I love all countries. Or drop the media rocks. Tell them media rocks are going to drop, and choose your location. Any location among the earth. Just see, this is the part of the country or part of the continent that the media rocks will drop. Everybody, look. Everybody move from that area. you know. Everybody move from that area. If they want to destroy a particular country or continent's economy, just tell them that media rock is gonna drop on their head. Even though you're the one dropping the media rock, tell them media rock is coming and let them vacate the area, and it drops and destroy them legally. I ain't got nothing to do with it legally. Natural disasters, my foot. Natural disasters, my crack. You know, there's always something forcing the hand. There's always someone pulling the strings. All these are not natural disasters. Natural disasters in that destroy. They are not that destructful. Yeah, rain can cause flooding and stuff because rain is, but we have drainage system. Rain can cause, but rain is not that, it's not that harmful. It is harmful, but it's not that harmful. Even a little bit sandstorm is not that harmful. All these, normal little natural disaster that nature has. Nature doesn't go overboard, but man does. Man does. Even volcano. You can just say, hey, volcano is man-made. We made this shit. Man made it. Volcano is not even real. Magma is not even real. Men made it and put it there. It's a project for the world to see. A lab project. Yeah, that's a volcano. You know, just erupt it. People are running. Yeah, yeah, yeah. Volcano. It's not a natural disaster. It's man-made. Man-made disaster, left, right, and center. Crazy world living with crazy people, man. These are all weapons created. Now I'm not even. These are just normal weapons to even just destroy things legally. I'm not talking about the armed forces, the police, the black ops, the space ops, the AIs. Eh, crazy, bro. You wanna go against the world, ah forces. You better be prepared.